Canada has its eyes on Asia and the lucrative trade markets in the Indo-Pacific region as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau heads to the region for a week of international summits and bilateral meetings. With stops in Indonesia, Singapore and India over 6 days, relationship building with Asian leaders is a critical goal. Canada wants in on the region's rapid growth amid the global green energy transition, in which Canada sees itself as a key player. It also wants to diversify its trade in the region away from China. Canada launched a new Indo-Pacific strategy last fall, aiming to expand trade links throughout the region to help counter China's dominance. It is in the midst of negotiating a comprehensive trade agreement with Indonesia and just temporarily paused formal trade talks with India pending further consultations with business stakeholders. It already has a trade pact with Singapore as both countries are signatories to the Pacific Rim Trade Deal, usually referred to as the CPTPP. Experts caution Trudeau will need to avoid being too preachy during his trip and prove his visit isn't just a photo op, but part of a larger commitment that Canada will be in the region for long term. Goldie Heather, CEO of the Business Council of Canada, said, Relationships, relationships, relationships. This is not a place where you come and simply say, Hi, I'm here to do business. Let's do a deal. This is a place where you cultivate relationships. We have to understand each other's culture. Heather said the priority needs to be on trade and economies. He said, in today's world, people are talking about the economy first. Trudeau's first stop will be in Jakarta on September 4, where he will meet with Indonesia President Joko Widodo and attend the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, a group of 10 countries that as a group represent Canada's fourth largest merchandise trading partner. On September 6, he will travel to Singapore and spend 2 days meeting with Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong and business leaders. He will end the trip with 2 days in New Delhi, India for the G20 Leaders Summit. While advocacy groups are urging Western countries to raise human rights issues throughout the G20 summit, some experts say Canada will be best served by focusing on the economy, as the Indo-Pacific is the fastest growing region in the world and will play a critical role in shaping Canada's future over the next 50 years. Climate change is key to Canada's fortunes in the area, as Ottawa views itself as a leader in the region's transition to green energy. Canadian business believe they have the fuel, food and fertilizer to help tackle the challenge. The trip marks Trudeau's first return to India following his controversial 2018 trip. International media labelled him as an embarrassing disaster. While regional and state governments in India were very welcoming to Trudeau, Prime Minister Narendra Modi appeared to ignore Trudeau's presence entirely until the final days of the 10-day visit. Many believed Modi's behavior was a deliberate attempt to embarrass Trudeau in retaliation for what India sees as Canada's lackluster effort to curtail a movement of Sikh separatism in Canada. This time, Trudeau is keeping his trip brief, spending just 2 days in New Delhi solely for the G20 leaders' meetings. He will focus on climate change, food, energy security, and gender equality at that meeting. He is also expected to advocate for Ukraine, who wasn't invited to the G20 leaders' summit. Russian President Vladimir Putin is also skipping the summit but will send his foreign minister instead. Ottawa's Indian High Commissioner Sanjay Kumar Verma said it's completely his prerogative what he wants to talk about, and I'm sure whatever he's saying will have salience in it and people will talk about it. There are other various platforms in which only Ukraine and Russia are being discussed, so the G20 we want it to be much broader than just covering one issue.